Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for today's video, we talk about working with classes that implements methods and method overloading. But first, okay, let's start the lab exercise. This is Java class introduction. As a prerequisite for this lab, we should have already completed the following course: the previous lab 1 and lab 2, and now in the page 6 of this lab series, Java lab series, we have we are in page number 6. Okay, welcome to the working with classes that implements methods and method overloading lab. Your assignment for this exercise is to work with classes that creates constructors and methods and also implements constructor overloading and method overloading. Okay, task. Implement methods, method overloading, and constructors. The modal solution to this task can be found on the next page, number 7. Okay, complete the following task in sequence. Create constructors to initialize member variables using getter and setter methods to access private member variables, implementing overloading constructors, implementing method overloading. Okay, quiz. Answer the multiple choice question below. You can attempt the answer until it is successfully completed. Okay. Defining two or more methods with the same name but with different argument. List in the class is called. I already answered it, and the answer is method overloading. Okay. Page 7. Task 1. To write Java program in our environment, we can get into an empty folder lab 3, this lab 3, which is available in the file 3, this one. To get into the lab 03 folder in the terminal, type cd lab 03, this one. I already typed it, cd lab 03. And then once you enter this, the result is this lab 03, the sign dollar. A constructor is a block of code similar to a method in a Java class. Constructors are used to initialize the object every time an object is created using new keyword. At least one constructor default constructor is invoked to assign initial values to the member variables of the class. To create a constructor for a class, the constructor name and the class name must be same. A constructor cannot have return type. A constructor can be either default, open and close parentheses, no arguments, constructors, or parameters constructors. To create constructors in Java, in the file tree under workspace, click on the three dots of folder lab 03 and select new file. I already made the file, this one, lab 03, and if you click this is the result, and choose the new file for this one. This one, construct variable, and then the file constructable.java is open and text editor create the default constructor in Java. Type the following code. Okay, this is the code, and I already copy it. This one, and okay, number 7. Okay, on line number 1, we created the class title construct variable. This one, which is named as a file name. On line 2 to 5, we declare member variables of the class, such as name, role no of type string, mark 1 and mark 2 of type in integers, avg marks of type double. On line 7, we create default constructor construct variable whose name is same as that of the class. In this constructor is immediately called once the object is created for the class. The line 9 to 12 are used to initialize from 9 to 12. This one 9, 10, 11, 12. The line 9 to 12 are used to initialize the member variables of this class. On line 14, we define the method showDate, which is used to display the information of the console. On line 16, we calculate the average marks of Mark 1 and Mark 2, and its value is stored in a variable A, B, G marks of type double. The lines 17 to 21, at this one, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 1, used to display information using print line method. On line 23, we specify the main method as public static void main string args inside the main method. On the line 25, this one, we create object for this class as b1 using the keyword new. Construct variable b1 equals new constructible. As soon as this object b1 is created, the default constructor construct variable is called immediately and initialize the member variables of this class. On number 26 method, showDate is called using the object as b1.showDate and open and close parenthesis colon. We control save when you save the file, and we compile it first before run the code. Okay, we type java construct variable dot java and then enter. Okay, there's no error. Then we type again java construct variable, then enter. Okay, same the result. Student name David, roll number SCS001, and mark 1 is 98 and mark 2 is 92, average mark is 95. Okay, task number 2. A class can have private variable which can only be accessed within the same class, but in order to access the private variables outside the class, we can use the public get and set methods. The get method returns the value of the variable, and the set method sets the value of variables. To create getter and setter in a Java file tree, under workspace, click on the three dots of the lab server tree and select new file. We create the new file, the getter setter, this one, and maybe we can type this or copy, but in, what I'm gonna do is copy this one, copy the code and paste it on the editor text box. Okay, in this program we had created two classes, namely temperature and getter setter, and on line 1 and 11 respectively inside the class. Temperature, we have private variable temp of the integer. Here we can access this private variable temp inside the class. Getter setter, using the methods get and set, which are defined line 4, 4, and 7. On line 4, we have setter method, which is defined as public void set temp int temp1. This one. The method will set the value of temperature to the private variable temp using this keyword. The this keyword is used to refer to the current object. On line 7, the getter method is defined as a public int getTemp, open and close parenthesis, value private variable temp. The main method, public static void main string args, and this one. On line 12 on line 13, the object T1 is created for the class temperature. Excuse me. On line 14, we call the setter method as T1.setTemp, open and close parenthesis 25, and pass the temperature value 25 to it. Method as T1.getTemp and retrieve the value of the integer variable temper. On line 16, using the print is displayed using the print line method. Now control save to save the file, and I already saved it. And next is we run this code, but first we need to compile it, and we type the file name. Okay, compile it first before run the code. Okay, there's no problem with the code, and type again the file name and then enter. Oh yeah, and this is the result. Same with this. Today's temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, let's proceed to task number 3. In Java, the constructors can be overloaded, in which a class can have any number of constructors that differ in a parameter list. The compiler differentiates these constructors by considering the number of parameters in the list and their data type to implement. And number two, to implement constructor overloading in Java in a file tree. Under Workspace, click on the three dots folder Lab Survey and select New File. In Create or Upload File dialog box, type the file name as consoverload.java and click the Create File Name. This one, I already made the file. Okay, the file consoverload.java is open in the text editor. This one. And I already copied the code and paste it here. Okay, double check, same. Okay, in this program we create two classes, namely student and consoverload on line 1 to 24 respectively. On line 2 to 25, 5, line 2 to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, we declare variable role of type string and variable mark 1, mark 2, and mark 3 of type integer. We create three constructors, namely student and student string and student int. On line 6, 11, and 14 respectively, these constructors are invoked automatically as soon as the object S4, S1, and S3 are created respectively. The compiler differentiates this constructor by considering the number of parameters in the list and their type. On line 6, this one, the student, The constructor with no arguments is defined as student, which initialize the member variables mark 1, mark 2, and mark 3. On line 11, the string, this one, student string, which initialize the variable row. On line 14, we have another parameterized constructor. This one, student int A, int B, and int C, which initialize the variable mark 1, mark 2, and mark 3 using integer type. On line 19, we have a method called total whose return type is integer. This one. Total of mark 1, mark 2, and mark 3. On line 25, main method public static void main main string args is defined. Only on line 26 and 27 we create objects S1 and S2 as student S1 equals new student open and close parentheses S CS 500 and student S2 equal new SCS 501, which invoke the constructor student string. And on line 28, we create object S3 as student S3 equals new student open close parenthesis 75, 89, and 60, which invokes the constructor student open and close parenthesis int A, int B, int C. On line 29, the object S4 new student, which invoke the default constructor student. On line 30, 30 and 31 method cal to total is called using the object S3 and S4 as in total S3 dot cal total and in total equals to S4 dot cal total open and close parenthesis respectively. Here the total marks are stored using the integer variables total and total2. On line 32, entry the student details are displayed using the print line method. Then we save the code, Ctrl S, and then compile it first before run the code. Alright, there's no problem with the code. And type Java console load. And the result is this: the student SCS 500 secured 224 marks, the student SCS 501 secured 265 marks. Okay, this is the output by using the print line method. Okay, task 4, method overloading. Method overloading in Java allows a class to have more than one method having the same name, but different argument lists. It is similar to constructor overloading. The argument list of the method must differ in either the number of parameters or the data type of the parameters or in the sequence of the data type of the parameters. Method overloading is also known as compile time polymorphism because the decision of which method is to be called is made at compile time. To implement method overloading in Java, in the file tree, under workspace, click on the three dots folder. This one, click three dots. Click new file and create or upload file dialog box. Type of the file name as method overload. This one already created, and the file method Method overload.java is open in the text editor. To implement method overloading in Java, type the following code in a text editor. Okay, I'll already copy this and paste it to the text editor. Okay, in this program we create two classes, namely string gopher and method overload on line 1 to 18 respectively. We Here we implement the concept of method overloading by creating multiple methods on line 2, 5, 9, and 13 with the same name, stroke, but when different argument lists. On line 2, we have the method stroke with two arguments of type string and its return type is string. That on line 3, we concatenate the two strings st1 and st2 using concat. This one, st1, st2 concat. On line 5, we had the method store, so with three arguments of type string and its return type is string. On line 7, we replaces the string all str with new str, the original string str using replace method and returns the replaced string. On line 9, in line 9, this one, we have the method store with one argument of 5 string and its return type is integer. On line 11, we find the length of the string using length. This one, length method returns the length of the given string str. On line 13, we have method store with two arguments. One argument is of type string and other argument is of type integer, and the return type is of character of. On line 14, we use the method char at open close parenthesis int I to return the character in at it index in given the string st3. On line 19, we have the main method. This one, main method, main public static void main is defined. Line 21, this one, we create object obj1 using the new keyword as string per obj1 equals new string per open close parenthesis. On line 22, we call the method stroke as string str contact equals obj1 dot store open and close java noiv to javanista, and pass two strings are as arguments which matches with the method. On line 2, this one, 2. On line 23, we call the method store as string stir place equal object1 dot store python lab programming python java, and pass three strings as arguments which made with method on line 5. On line 24, we call the method store as int excuse me, strlen equals obj1 dot store javanese lab, and pass one string as argument which matches with the method on line 9. On line 25, we call the method store as char, this one, char str equals to obj1 dot store constructor 3, and pass on a string and one integer value as argument which matches with the method on line 13. The lines from 26 to 29 here uses print line method to display the string information on the console. Then I already saved it, and okay, compile this program. Alright, compile before run to make sure it's correct. Okay, type, then enter. Alright, this is the output. Same with this. The concatenation of two strings is javanoive to javanista. The place string is Java lab programming. The character in the index value of 3 in the given string constructor is colon s. The length of the string javanista lab is 13. Okay, same. Okay, I think for now we end this video and continue the page 8 to the next video, because I think it's too much long if I continue the videos from page 6 to 10. So what I'm gonna do is cut it from from page 6 to 7 and then continue with the page 8. Okay, thank you for watching this video. uh, Good, take care always. Okay, and just keep on touch and watching my next video about this Java series. Okay, bye bye.